All listed G-bodies are with or without T-tops and Astro roofs. Number 5, 1985 through 87 Oldsmobile 442. 442, let's break down the meaning. When the Olds 442 debuted in 1964, it simply stood for 4-barrel carburetor, 4 on the floor or 4-speed manual transmission and dual exhaust. Then from 1965 through 1969, it stood for 400 cubic inch V8 or bigger, 4-barrel carb and dual exhaust. After 1969, the name sort of lost its meaning with 2-barrel carbs and single exhaust systems becoming standard on some 442 models. Through the decades, the 442 name was no more than a glorified emissions choke sticker package. In 1985, the 442 name revived on the Oldsmobile Cutlass Salon platform due to the demise of the Hurst Olds. The name meant 4-speed automatic transmission, 4-barrel carb and dual exhaust, which was only a single exhaust system with dual exits. The W42 model came standard with a LG8 5-liter V8, bucket seats, console, L41 suspension package. 3,000 were produced in the first year. 4,273 were produced in 1986, and 4,208 were made in 87, with about 501 being Astro roofs and 1,111 being T-top cars. All 85 through 86 442s used the sporty Cutlass Salon as their base model. The 1987 442 used the lower Cutlass Supreme as their base platform. All 85 through 87 442s used the 8.5 GM corporate differential with 373 gears, which was the same diff used in the Grand Nationals. The 1985 442 307 5-liter V8 engine had a flat-tappet valve train rated at 180 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque. The 86 through 87 442 used a roller camshaft valve train and new swirl port heads. Horsepower dropped to 170 with torque climbing to 255 foot-pounds. Number 4, 1983 to 84 Oldsmobile Hurst Olds. The Hurst Olds was built on the Cutlass Calais platform in 1983 to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the Hurst Olds. It came with the most famous shifter found in G-bodies, the Hurst Lightning Rods. It only came in black and silver, had 15-inch wheels with Goodyear Eagle GT tires. The 307 had a flat-tappet valve train rated at 180 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque. It had dual exhaust and 373 gears out back. 3,001 were produced in 1983. 1984, the paint scheme reversed. The 1984 model, along with the 442 and Turbo Buicks, was the only G-bodies to come factory with the corporate GM 8.5 rear differential. 3,500 were produced in 1984. Number 3, Grand Nationals T-types and Turbo Ts. The most sought after years being 86 and 87, but all years are dream G-bodies. The first Regal Grand National was unveiled at NASCAR's 1982 Daytona 500, which was named for the NASCAR's Winston Cup Grand National Series. All were originally charcoal gray with red pinstripes. Only 215 retrofitted Regals Grand Nationals was produced the first year. Most of all 1982 Grand Nationals were naturally aspirated. Only around 35 were based on the Buick Regal Sport Coupe package with the turbocharged V6 rated at 175 horsepower and 275 foot-pounds of torque. In 1983, the Grand National package wasn't offered. The Sport Coupe model was renamed T-Type. They included Hydro Boost brakes, 204R 4-speed overdrive transmission, and a 342 rear gear ratio. They were rated at 180 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. The Grand National returned in 1984 with the iconic all-black paint. The turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 became standard along with sequential fuel injection, distributorless computer-controlled ignition, horsepower was boosted to 200, and torque was up to 300 foot-pounds. Because of this, it is often considered the year and model that started the development of the legendary intercooled Grand Nationals. 5,204 Turbo Regals were produced in '84, with only 2,000 being Grand Nationals. All came with a Lear-Siegler interior, and an estimated 200 1984 Grand Nationals were made with the Astro Roof option, which makes these the rarest Grand Nationals. 1986 Turbo Regal's horsepower increased to 235 horsepower and 330 foot-pounds of torque. 7,896 Turbo Regals were produced, 2,384 were T-types, and 5,502 were Grand Nationals. In 1987, the T-Type package was replaced with the T-Sport package. 27,590 Turbo Regals were produced in '87, and a lightweight WE4 Turbo T option was offered. Only 1,547 of this variant was produced and was technically faster than the Grand National because of its aluminum bumper supports and aluminum rear brake drums. 1987 was the only year that the LC2 Turbo V6 option could be had on any Regal, making it possible to even see a Limited with a vinyl Landau roof and a Powerboy turbo hood. Turbo Regal Limiteds were one of the rarest models of Turbo Regals produced, second only to the GNX. Only 1,035 Turbo Limited Regals were produced, and since they weren't all black, they were a true definition sleeper. Number 2, 1986 to '87 Monte Carlo SS Aerocoupe. It's hands down one of the most sought after Gbodys, which was initially sold in limited numbers within the heart of stock cars racing southern states. A total of 200 Aerocoupes were sold in 1986. 6,052 were produced in 1987. On the track, the Aerocoupe captured 18 wins, along with the heart of thousands of fans who flocked to the dealership seeking the street version. What wins on Sunday, sells on Monday. Number 1, 1987 Buick GNX, which stands for Grand National Experimental. A total of just 547 cars was built by Buick with the Grand National interior and then sent to McLaren Performance Technologies for the GNX transformation. Improvements included a Garrett T3 turbocharger with ceramic impeller, a GNX heat shield, larger capacity intercooler, reprogrammed engine management, and a performance suspension with torque bar, and GNX only rear differential cover. Buick underrated the GNX at 276 horsepower and 360 foot-pounds of torque, actual output being around 300 brake wheel horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque.